Hello. I'm back. I'm here to talk about this idea of cringing at myself. And I'm really liking these video journals so far. I think they're getting me a lot more comfortable to talk on camera. And it's been a really fun experience so far. I've gotten some cool comments too. Like, I've actually got people um, interacting with me because of the content. So that's nice. That's fun. It's an extra benefit. It's 1:47 in the afternoon, Wednesday, March 23rd. I'm outside a community park. Like, originally, man, I planned. Originally, I planned to come to like this park because I'm not familiar with it and talk outside, like get my chair and just like sit down and talk. But it's really windy outside, and it's so much better in my car. And like, I don't know. I think there's a balance there. So on the way here when I was driving, I really enjoyed like the view and the scenery. It's kind of off topic, but like I've found that as I've begun to step away from, well, this is kind of social media because it's YouTube, but as I've begun to step away from Instagram and Discord and gaming and being on my computer all day, I've become much more grateful for like everyday things, like the way the trees move in the wind, bounces off the leaves, and like the birds and the sky, and the people, and like, I don't know, nature. Like, there's so much to be grateful for. And on my way here, I took a detour randomly. There was a sign that said Poly Lookout. I'm not sure if you know, but in Hawaii there's this thing called Poly Lookout. It's a Poly Lookout. It's a tourist attraction. And so I decided, why not? It's been like a couple of years. I've been there for like school field trips and stuff. But like, yeah, so I drove up there. There's like this kind of sketchy road, but it was just such a beautiful drive. And so on the way back, I recorded some of that. And like, also, I tried talking while there. But the one thing about the top of the Poly Lookout, it's the top of a mountain at the edge of a cliff. So it's really, really windy. And the audio is probably shit. It's so windy. And there's like people behind me, but it's okay. I don't know what we're gonna be doing, but like, that was a cool experience. Just like, there wasn't that many people, but just trying to get out of my comfort zone in that sense. And back to the topic of me cringing at myself. Like, I feel like everybody's done this. If you've seen an old video of yourself, I'll throw up some old TikToks that I just found recently, like 6 years ago. There's like, I feel like if we were more compassionate towards ourselves and we didn't cringe at ourselves so much, then we would love ourselves more, if that makes sense. So, I kind of like, I try to empathize with this the me 6 years ago who made those TikToks, who were trying to be cool and like, create something. Like, instead of judging him, being like, oh, what an idiot, like that's so cringeworthy. But like, at the time, it's just like what I wanted to do, and I just did it. And like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. And I still find myself cringing at myself. Like, I'm not saying like I don't ever cringe at myself. I still think that there's some amount oh god, voice correct, there's some amount of growth that can come from that. But there's also the flip side where you kind of want to accept yourself, especially your past self, for things that you've done. Just know that you are not your actions. Okay, you're not the choices you made. You yourself can do better. Like, just understand your reason. Because I feel like everybody does things. Like, maybe you make the wrong choice, but it was always to try to get something. Like, it's just like a need that you were trying to fulfill. Like, no one blames you for trying to drink water if you're thirsty, right? So, of course, you have to be accountable for your actions. Like, I'm not saying go commit a crime and then forgive yourself and then like not pay for it. Like, no, you have to pay the consequences, but that doesn't mean you can't accept yourself. You know, you can't accept the choice that happened and just like let up. Um, yeah, yeah. So, um, my choice. So like, let's talk about this. My choice to come here in Kalihi was uh, more influenced by someone else than it was for what I wanted to do. And I think that's interesting because we don't I think it's crazy how much other people influence the things that we do and like the the way that we choose to spend our time, right? um right. So I was thinking about how to make these videos because I had some video ideas. I wrote them down, and I wanted to get out of the house, and I feel like a part of me needs to get out of the house. I feel like I've been in the house like with COVID and quarantine. Even after quarantine, I was always behind my computer and I was always in the house, and it like it didn't feel good because the your environment environment matters a lot. And when you're in that place where you were in such a bad headspace, like just being reminded of those things, like it really it affects me, man. And I need to like get out, and I'm so grateful that I have a car and I can go places. If I didn't have a car, it'd be much harder to do this, like lug around camera gear and books and chairs and you know. But um yeah, in a way I'm still running away from problems, like confronting that idea that like I can't be home or like I don't want to. And anyway, back to the point. Um, so I just today, you know, just like within the span of 24 hours, I cringed at myself. I cringed at the fact that I came to this specific part of the island because I knew that someone else lived near here, and I was kind of hoping that they would uh, want to hang out or like do something. Again, this is for another topic, but there's there's a girl, you know, there's always a girl, but there's a girl that I like, and it feels like she's drifting away, and I guess I was kind of holding on to that maybe, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I have stuff to return to her, so I was gonna like drop off her stuff, and then I don't know. I just wanted to see her. And looking back at it, it's like I should have gone to the other beach because I wanted to. This is so off topic, and it's not off topic, but it's so. I'm trying not to be too specific, but anyway, I wanted to go to this other beach to get a shot of me on a bench. By the way, the lavalier mics came in, so I was trying to reach out to friends too, to film me or like to help shoot the video, because I want to do a video where we're giving out compliments to random people. I think that'd be really cool. What was I saying? Right, I wanted to get a shot of me on the bench because I've been thinking, and I think I'm gonna start making TikToks like about this kinds of stuff, and it's heavily related to Dur's advice. And Dur's is, in case you don't know, Dur's is my friend that I met streaming on Twitch. Again, another topic that I want to make a video about. Streaming on Twitch has taught me a lot, especially talking like this. Like, I think with Twitch, I've been able to get my thoughts out there better, you know? Like, it's really fun. They've got their downsides, but Durs said that he doesn't see a lot of content like this on TikTok, and he thinks that it could do well. And at first, I was opposed to it because I was thinking like, oh, it's better if I just do this for myself, you know, not try to focus on the numbers or make it a business. But I've been starting to read the 4 Hour Work Week, and I've been watching more of Hamza's content. Hamza's a YouTube creator that pretty much pushed me through his videos. I don't think he even knows me, but he pushed me to make these type of videos and like to reflect through video journals and like see where it goes. But the 4-hour work week talks about this idea of action, like taking action and then apologizing later. Like, even though you might upset people, if unless it's a devastating consequence for them, like, you know, it probably doesn't affect them as much as you think it does. So just do it. You know, just like aim high and try to fail, and in that failure you'll learn. And it's really, really inspiring and motivating to start a business and like try to be sustainable in that way. So I think I want to do that. I think I'm going to be transparent as I can, and maybe I'll make a second channel where it's not as transparent. It's more like short form content that appeals to more like a wider audience. Because right now, everybody watching this, if you're watching this far in, you're seriously like, you're not common. Like, you're actually, I think you care about self-improvement. You care about, like, it's kind of satisfying to listen to someone talk about their experiences, so I can understand that from that perspective. But I think if you're watching this far in, you seriously, like, you have a mindset that a lot of people don't have. Like, I think you're humble. I know it's kind of like I'm sucking up to you, but like, I think you're humble and you're willing to like look into yourself and the mistakes that you've made and get confronted and be uncomfortable in a certain level, right? Like, everybody can improve, but like, yeah, the fact that if you're watching this, and of course I'm probably gonna watch this later, I was watching back my other video, again back to the topic of cringing at myself. I was watching back my other video where I talked about my experience in Hawaii, because I was pretty much laying in bed, like, in my feels, just like sad that the girl, right, that we were talking about, she's like busy, and I can feel her like drifting away. I can tell she's drifting away. And yeah, I was pretty much just in my feels, just like laying in bed till like 3 in the afternoon. But as I was doing that, wow, I'm losing my train of thought. Oh fuck. Oh dude. Oh, talking about her is fucking, oh my god. What was I saying, dude? I was in my bed, right, watching the video, because I don't want to spend too much like, I don't want to spend any time watching movies, shows, like scrolling on TikTok, like, so I pretty much spent my time thinking and sleeping, and it was more productive than you think. Like, I was actually trying to be productive and like really search within myself like why I felt the way I felt. And anyway, I was watching back the old video of me talking about my experience growing up in Hawaii, and also the video talking about doing things alone, which is also what I'm doing right now. I'm alone and I'm doing things, so I'm kind of taking my own advice. God. So I was watching back that video, and I was kind of cringing at like watching myself sing, because I noticed some of the notes were wrong, and like the jump from like that jump was kind of too much in my opinion, and looking back at it. But like, yeah, so now I know when I sing it, I can do a little bit better, and like, that's one great thing about looking at it through that lens. Instead of cringing at yourself and judging yourself and putting yourself down, you can actually like try to improve. Like, first try to understand what you did and like accept it, right? Like, empathize, have compassion for yourself, and then look at it constructively, right? And I think as you do that for yourself and for others, it's so much easier to look at everything with a growth mindset. I think that's powerful. A lot of advice going on through here, and it's kind of to internalize the advice for myself, like as I'm saying it, and also to get it out to people. Like, because I feel like it could help some people, younger people or older people, it doesn't matter. You'd be surprised how many older people don't, like, there's so many people I feel like that went through the motions in their life without thinking, that they're so far gone that this idea of reflection and like this idea of I don't know, because I feel like some people are so caught up in their ways, especially older people who have lived their whole life a certain way, you know, lived their whole life thinking a certain way, thinking that they'd never, you know, be able to do that thing that they dreamt of. and so they've accepted it and they've lived a mediocre life, and it's like that's so scary to me. I don't want that to happen. You know, it's kind of like at this moment in time, I value spontaneity and the ability to do what you want when you want. Somewhat, like, you know, obviously you have responsibilities, but this idea of having freedom and being able to pursue what you want to pursue, you know, what you can put your mind to. Oh, that big truck went really fast. That big truck went really fast. What a sentence. And this idea of like just being satisfied and being content and not, you know, like working for 40 years and then retiring, living another, like, no, that doesn't sound good at all, dude. Just think about that. So many people just go through the motions. They just follow what everybody else is doing, and then they expect themselves to be happy. It's a logical conclusion, but just think about what that would look like, what your life would look like working that much, you know? And I feel like a lot of this is inspired by the book that I was talking about, The 4-Hour Workweek. I definitely recommend it if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, or break away from your job in a sense, that like you can, again, have that freedom to do what you always wanted to do, like to pursue your dreams. And yeah, and I think cringing at yourself and like looking back in that sense could help. Yeah, just like bring it back full circle before I go on another huge tangent. All right, let's figure out like what, because every single journal of these, I write a page of things that I absolutely want to get in the video, and then I just freehand it, like, or free talk it, I guess, and I just go on. Eventually I won't need the page, but I think it's helpful because when I want to make short form content on that second channel that I was talking about, I can use this to like figure out the short points instead of taking so long to talk about it. Yeah. Positives and negatives. Okay, I said it's crazy how much people influence how we behave. When I'm alone doing my own thing, I'm not as critical of myself. Every now and then I find myself thinking about my interactions with people and I get negative thoughts thinking about how they perceive me. So yeah, I think that's just natural self-doubt, like when you're looking back at the way people treated you or the way you treated them and like the interaction. I feel like there's so many times that you could think that that an interaction was a certain way, but the other person doesn't even see that way. Like, you know, you might be projecting those internal like feelings towards yourself, towards the interaction, when in reality it wasn't that bad. Like, if you think that you're awkward or you think that you're weird, and then when you interact with somebody, you're going to project those feelings and they're going to see that you're not comfortable, or they're going to see that you're, you know, like you're ashamed in a way. Even if you pretend, it's still a little different than being genuine. And that disconnect between authenticity is what can throw people off, I think, a lot of times. And then it's just like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know, you think you're weird, you become weird. And that's a mixed bag too, because like you're weird if you're not weird. Everybody has their own, you know, flaws and ways of thinking. But yeah. And it's like, I think it's important to have a strong sense of, well, it's kind of identity, but like a strong value for yourself. Because then when you interact with other people and they don't show you the opposite of that. If they treat you like your value is less than what you think it is, then either you can adapt to that and you can like accept it, like, oh, I deserve to be treated this way, or I deserve not to be responded to. Oh my god. Yeah. Or, right, you can say you deserve it, or you can kind of almost cut that person out from your life. That's a weird thing, but like, if they're unhealthy for you, you know, you gotta move on. And it's so sad, because especially if you're attached to that person, you've made so many memories, But like, the people you surround yourself with are the people who you become. You know, it's, you don't realize it. Like, even your dialect and the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you think, the way you treat yourself, the things you do, the places you go, heavily influenced by the people you surround yourself with, your friends, your family, people you talk to online. Yeah. I was watching Durz's stream again. Durz, the streaming friend that I made when I was streaming on Twitch. And I was watching his stream maybe last week, just to catch up, you know. And he started singing the Harry Potter theme, just because he saw like a Harry Potter image or something before he started to stream, and he didn't realize it. And that's like a perfect example of how influenced we can be by the things around us, the things we surround ourselves with, our environment, you know, what we choose to bring into our lives and keep there. And yeah, you can pretend like you know, like, you can pretend watching a Netflix show about drugs and how great they are doesn't affect you, but it affects you more than you know. More than you know. Man. I'm listening to music right now, and fuck, the beat just dropped. It's so nice. Happy Life by Roland Fonte. Faunte. Sewing Kit. Happy Life. That song, hits the feels. I need to learn to better accept the choices I make, because we're only human. We all get overtaken by our emotions, our need to be accepted, our innate desire to give, and our fear of vulnerability. Yeah, if you think about it, we're just evolved chimps. We're just monkeys. Like, we have emotions and we get overtaken by them all the time. You know, when you get cut off by someone in traffic, you want to punch them in the face. Like, it's normal, you know, you don't have to restrict those things. But there's also a level of accountability that comes with how you choose to disperse or repress your emotions, you know? You have to live with the choices you make and how you decide to do that. And you can choose to numb yourself. You can choose to go on TikTok. if you go on TikTok or you're gaming, I'm sorry, I still need to make a video about that, like why, my logic behind it. But you can choose to go on TikTok and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and numb yourself to what you're feeling inside and just try to get as much dopamine as possible, right? It feels good. I've been there. It feels good. Or you can accept what you're feeling and go through it fully. Accept it for what it is. Be sad. Be sad, dude. Just like, let your self-doubts come to you, and then write them down and understand them, you know? And I think that's beautiful. Like, the happy moments are only so happy with the sad moments, you know? You only appreciate what you have when it's taken away, and like, that's the beauty of life, I think. It's like, I'm talking about the beauty of life. Like, what the hell am I saying? And it's so funny. It's so odd. But I think it's interesting to understand. And yeah. Take the good moments and the bad moments. Take them all. Experience them for yourself. That's life. Okay, so we're midway through the page. Like I said, humans are complicated. At the end of the day, we're only sophisticated chimps, chasing comfort and avoiding our problems. Yeah. The dilemma of comfort, right? All of our technological breakthroughs, all of our years and years of research and money put into chasing comfort and this idea of chasing happiness, but it's more, I don't think, because when you chase happiness, let's say you get to a point where you're extremely happy, life will get boring. There's no sad moments, there's no angry, stressful moments, you know? Like, what does that even mean to be happy? I think, or at least in the book, The 4-hour work week. I really hope I'm not parked in the wrong place. That would suck. But again, the 4-hour work week, right? Take action, and then if you make a mistake, it's a mistake. I don't know. Just learn from your failure. God, what was I saying? I really forgot what I was saying. Okay. Chasing happiness. So the 4-hour work week, again, it talks about this idea of of that we're not chasing happiness. We just want excitement in our lives. We don't want boredom. We don't want monotonous activities. Like we want something fulfilling, and that to us is new things and keeping it fresh. And then an extension of that is money. Like you need money to do those things. And it talks about really important concepts. But I tried reading that book earlier in my life, like sophomore, junior year, because I wanted to be an entrepreneur and get into business and work for myself. And I wasn't able to understand it. I would read it, but I wouldn't understand what I was reading. But now that I've done more work to look within myself and like understand emotions and like why we do what we do, why we feel what we feel, reading books like Your Head is a Houseboat, and that book's really good. Reading books like How Not to Die Alone, just like learning from other people who have more experience than me and trying to understand and put that into action, like experiment with yourself. So yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Happens often. So yeah, right. So when you get to that point where you're extremely happy, you make all the money in the world, it's gonna get boring. You're gonna be met with silence. When there's no work left to be done, you're gonna be stuck with yourself, with your thoughts. You've bought all the motorcycles that you can buy. You've bought all the things. You've seen all the girls. Like, now what, right? And imagine how much happier you would be. Imagine someone who makes 10 times, 20 times the amount of money that you make, but you have that sense of self, and you have that comfortability within your own mind. Imagine how much happier you would be compared to that person, Like, that's why it's so important. And I think that's great. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Back to the topic. Thoughts like, oh God, why did I say that? What did they think of me? Thoughts like those can help us learn to be more normal, and as a result, have people support you, accept you. But it never really works unless you're being genuine. They'll never really show you acceptance and love for who you are. So, right, so this goes back to the idea of cringing at yourself and like having thoughts like, oh, why did I do that? I should have done this. This is what normal people do. Or like everybody, I know, in middle school, everybody was learning how to solve Rubik's Cubes and do different things, and like everybody would follow everybody. And so, because everybody wants to be accepted. We want to be like everybody else. And that can be helpful, to find a group like that, to try their hobbies. But when it comes to a point where you're changing yourself and your own values, well, if you don't even know what values you have, then it's really hard to feel like people accept you for who you are, because, again, you don't know who you are, or like you're not showing them who you are. When you're not genuine with the way you act and the way you interact with people, then there's always gonna, again, like this like disconnect, this feeling that they don't really understand you because you haven't shown them the real you. You haven't shown them what you really like, what you really want to do, how you really talk, And yeah, you're scared to open up that side of yourself, and they might leave you if you show them who you really are. Solution: honesty, authenticity, no masks or facades. The famous words, be yourself, amor fati, a love of one's fate. Live life knowing that you don't have to pretend, and in the process, you attract people who like you for you. And that was the full page, you know? Just like, yeah, cringe at yourself, but accept it. If you were being yourself in that moment and you made that mistake or you thought it was weird or they treated you a certain way, that's their problem, man. You just be yourself. You know, be proud of who you are. And I'm not saying to accept it, to not want to improve or get better or treat people better, you know? But yeah, don't try to conform to be accepted, I think. And it's hard. Everything's easier to say than be done. And everything I'm talking about is out of experience. So I'm sure there's people who have completely opposite experiences from me, and I'm excited to hear from you. If you watch this far, then dude, leave a comment, bro. You watched all the way through. Nice. Give me a thumbs up. Little brofist. Yeah, I guess I'm a YouTuber now. I don't know. Yeah. See what I just did. I kind of associated my identity with the things I'm doing. Like, I'm a YouTuber, and this means that. Like, no, I'm just a person, and I happen to be doing YouTube. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Too much talking. Thanks for listening, and I'll see myself in the future, or you, or yeah. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves, and take some time to reflect. Why are you still here? What are you waiting for? You think what? You think there's gonna be like some special clip at the end because I want to reward you for watching all the way? Like, I'm gonna put something that you would never see unless you watch towards the end of the video.